Well, plenty happening in the world of small business as well. Small Business Australia's Bill Lang joins me live now. Good morning to
Morning,
you,
Alana.
Bill. Thanks for
G'day, how are
joining
you?
us. Very well. Look, Australians have increased their savings by over $100 billion since March, which is quite remarkable given the year that we've had with COVID-19.
Yeah, look, I think a lot of people with the uncertainty around the virus and how long it would last and what the implications would be for jobs and their health have been saving as much as they can if they've got the ability to save. Over 30 billion is actually being withdrawn from superannuation accounts, largely used to help people keep living, but also some of that being put into bank accounts. So there's a lot of money sort of sitting on the sidelines, as we say, sitting in bank accounts, waiting for the people to be a bit more confident to go forward and start spending it.
What does small business need, I guess, as we move forward from this chapter?
Yeah, look, there's still some key things needed from both the state and the federal governments, and we need some things from the Australian people. So, from the state government point of view, the small businesses in the big cities, particularly in the city of Melbourne, are really struggling. So we need people back at work, and that's just started in terms of up to 25% can come back into the CBD of Melbourne. But the state government is the biggest employer here in Victoria and has the biggest number of people that work in offices, but there's been no return to work asked of those Victorian government employees. Whereas in New South Wales, they've been on the front foot there now for several months and leading the way, walking the talk with respect to bringing those people back. So that's one thing at the state government level. At the federal government level, there's still some major uncertainty for more than 1 in 3 small businesses around the future of JobKeeper and the need for still some direct financial support to help with things like rent and those sorts of expenses. So there are some things the governments can still do and we still need them to do. But there's something that, everyone watching this show can be doing, Alana, and that is to, go forward this Christmas time with the confidence, now that the virus is largely contained. Everyone knows what to do in terms of keeping well, keeping their hands clean, keeping a bit of distance, wearing a mask when they're inside. So keeping well, helping the small businesses continue to be COVID safe, so checking in, doing all those sorts of things. Then what we really need is when you're thinking about Christmas, thinking about the holidays, thinking about the gifts, thinking about what's on the table, at Christmas lunch, we really need a green, gold and 100% local Christmas. Let's go and buy from our local small businesses.
I think it really is an opportunity to change tact because I think a lot of families at Christmas, it's overwhelmed, and it is. You go to Woolies, just do it all in one hit. It's do everything online. We've seen obviously a huge surge in online ordering over COVID-19, but I think now you're so right. We need to be actually hitting the pavement, particularly as those Australia Post deadlines are looming as well. Get back into some of these small stores and actually purchase local.
Look, absolutely. And look, sometimes it might cost a little bit more than using some international online service. But if you can afford to, please put your hands in your pocket. There's still, more than 1 in 3 small businesses are still likely on the verge of going out of business permanently. So while the health outcome's looking pretty good and the future's looking good health-wise, particularly now with multiple vaccines potentially available sometime next year here in Australia, we're going to try and get as many through to 2022. So as many through to 22, and that's really going to be in the hands of every Australian to put their hands in their pocket, to visit those local businesses and to buy some things from them.
It's such a key point that you raise because I think, and Victoria, granted, we are just coming out of lockdown, but I think for a lot of other states, they've almost been COVID normal and operating as normal for a long time. But I think what we need to understand is the damage from what's happened this year is going to take so long to rebuild. And even though on the surface it looks like everyone's out and about and doing their Christmas shopping, the financial damage to these small businesses has left a huge hole that it's going to take more than this Christmas period to come back from.
Look, that's exactly right. And if people have been walking around and seeing the full lease signs going up on a number of retail outlets, personal service outlets, hospitality outlets. And there's even the challenge at the moment around actually getting staff. So a number of the businesses have opened back up, but are actually struggling to fill up with staff. And it's another thing where the government can be helping, which is, bringing back the international students in a safe way, using some quarantine, so they can come back and bring not only the fees they pay to the universities. We've got to remember the universities are actually owned by state government. So as they're making losses, it's not some big organisation losing money. It's they're our state governments and therefore us as citizens. Let's bring the international students back. Not only do they pay their fees, they spend up to $50,000 a year on living and food-related expenses, largely going to small businesses. And they work up to 20 hours a week in a lot of those small businesses in terms of providing labour. So look, we've got to keep them up. Like the health outcomes are good, weather's improving, vaccines coming. They're all very much positives. The people that have borne the biggest cost emotionally, financially, psychologically are actually small business owners. And there's still 500,000 or 600,000 on the verge of not making it through. We've already lost, over 100,000.
Yeah, it is huge stats. Really, the damage from this year is going to be widespread. I can safely tell you, Bill, I need no encouragement to get into those local stores and shop away, even if I don't necessarily have the cash. So I'm doing my bit. But thanks for joining us on the program. Definitely such an important message this Christmas. We really appreciate your time.
Well, thanks a lot, Alana. Keep well and keep buying local.
Thanks, Bill. Bill Lang there.